It's the early way, yeah. It's the early way, yeah, yeah.
What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? Baddies! What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up?
What's up, y'all? I'm Early Earl. I thank y'all for hearing these YouTube streets and coming on down here to the early way and hearing what I got to say. And I got a little something to say about the Baddies Midwest Reunion Part 1. This is not a recap or a review. I repeat, this is not a recap. This is not a review. Review. This is just what I feel are the highlights of the episode. But first, let me start off by saying I enjoyed the first part of the reunion. I sat on my couch with my blunt pinched between my fingers, watching my TV screen, entertained by what I was seeing. I was ready for it. It wasn't great, but for the most part, the reunion, it was good. It was good to me, at least. I saw nothing wrong with it. Now, let's get into these highlights. I'm going to start it off with Summer and Dolly versus Emma. And y'all know how these reunions go, but if you don't know, the producers group them up in a room backstage, or they put them in a trailer on a premises or wherever they filming it. And the baddies basically talk about what they're ready to do, who they're ready to see, what they expect to happen, and how ready they are to stand on big business. So they group Summer and Dolly in Big Lex in a room, and them hoes, and they're sitting already. They hyping themselves up. Rolly comes in and she immediately get into what happened at the auditions between her and Summer. Rolly ends up apologizing to Summer. Summer apologizes back, and they quickly move past it. And I'm like, okay, this how we starting off. We starting off with the apologies. We ain't got to fight about every little thing. We starting off good. Okay. So then Dolly bids up Rolly by saying that, she's been the only OG that talked to them and put them on game. And I'm like, well, what type of game you need to be put on the show like Baddies? All you really need to do is to stand on business and handle your SHIT and you good. What else is there to know? Shit, I'm just confused on that one. After all that, Emma and Yoshi entered the room. I don't know why, but they walked in. When Summer laid eyes on Emma, she jumped up and started swinging, right? Big Lex hopped up too, but she went after Summer to try to hold her back. Dolly got up and went after Emma. She grabbed Emma by the hair, pulled her away from Summer, and started uppercutting her all in her shit like a whop up a dooba, a whap down, boom, just beating on her. Summer tried jumping in, but she couldn't with security holding her back. Emma left out that room leaking. She lost it. And I felt no ways about what happened to Emma. It is what it is. It's been like this all season, whether we like it or not. They've been tag teaming and jumping in fights all season. And like Big Lex said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Emma should have walked in that BITCH and started windmilling, doing a shenanigans. Shout out to Martin. Moving past that one, my next highlight is Natalie going to meet up with Mel to see what's the holdup and why she doesn't want to come out. So Natalie goes to meet up with Mel to see what's going on with her. Mel in her room, butted on, mouth guard in, and she tells Natalie she feels uncomfortable. She says she outnumbered and there's too many girls that want her head and there's nothing she can do about it. She don't understand how it went from her just beefing with Ivory to her having beef with the entire cast. And I'm like, girl, how you don't know? All some of them said was you lost against Ivory and you got in your fields and you started talking your shit. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it went. Correct me if I'm wrong. But all they said was you lost against Ivory and you just went off. So Mel, you definitely know how it happened. You pissed me off. Mel, please don't piss me off. So Natalie was like, she don't know, but it's a whole lot of internet shit going on. I'm like, clock it, Natalie. Let her know shit. You know what's going on. You've been on that internet talking and popping big shit. And then she asked Mel, well, what you want to do? Mel said she want to leave. So she grabbed her shit and she headed out the door. Mel, you done pissed me off. You done pissed me off. Did you hop on the plane, jump in that Uber Black XL, and pull up? Why did you? Why? So she head out the door, right? Meanwhile, Ivory outside waiting. She ready to throw down. She ready to line that shit up with Mel. She see Mel coming out with her stuff in her hand, and she asks Mel, "Where the fuck you going?" And Mel said she going home. They ain't give her enough money to fight her, right? I said, "What the fuck you came then?" And I agree with Ivory again. Mel, why did you come? You knew you had all this beef before you came. You knew what it was when it signed up. And now you had to run it up. Gave scary. I don't know. I mean, I don't think she's scared of Ivory per se, but she's scared of the whole situation and not knowing for sure the outcome of it. That's what she's scared about. It gave Mel tuck her tail and back the fuck away. So they started yelling, going back, forth, and forth. And nothing ends up happening between the two. Mel ends up, leaving. And I thought it was just pointless. Mel, you disappointed me. You could have stayed your ass home in Milwaukee. You feel me? So after all that, Natalie ends up performing and it gave absolutely nothing. Next. So y'all, my next highlight is Saucy Santana. No, he looks a fucking mess. I ain't even for the lie to you. I just don't understand. From head to toe, I be looking at him confused. His face be all screwed up and everything. But Saucy get out on stage and he tells the crowd that it is Judgment Day. There is no injury reserve and size don't matter today. He and Janisha both agreed that the newbies carried the entire season while the OGs played background, and I agree. Janisha then asked Saucy, well, what does he expect to happen and what does he want to see go down? And Saucy was like, he want to see Dolly versus Taseki. And I agree, me too. He said he want to see Summer versus Scotty. And I said, we already saw that. If they're going to give what they gave in Hawaii, they can keep that. He said he want to see Big Lex versus Anna. And even though I already know the outcome of how that fight going to end, if that fight was to happen, I want to see it too. And then he said if it happens, he want to see Taseki versus Big Lex. And ain't no beef between them, but if a squabble was to happen, I wouldn't be mad at it. He did mention that Summer is his favorite. He loved the fact that Summer can talk shit, get her ass whooped, and her mama still going that bitch and get litty. And if it happens, run me that. Y'all know I like Summer too. She was a favorite of mine too. He says his least favorite was Tinka, and I mean she wasn't a favorite or a least favorite. I mean, I could have did without Tinka the entire season. He give Rolly her tens because she's about the only one who says what she says in her confessionals and in scene. She isn't a confessional gangster like some of the other baddies, and I agree. Rolly is about the only one who will talk her shit in scene and say the same shit in her confessional. She ain't scared of that one of them hoes. Well, then again, I don't know. She say she pick and choose, so I don't know. I don't know, Saucy. I'm gonna have to take that one back. Now you might have to snatch them tens back. Yeah, my last highlight of the episode is DTV slapping on Natalie. So Janisha calls out Natalie, Scotty, and Taseki, and then a few minutes later she calls out Diamond the Body, aka DTV. Cause she be disturbing these bitches, right? So because she gives Saucy a hug, then she move on to Natalie and embraces her with the hug as well. All is good. So far, so good, right? Wrong. Hugging on Natalie. Diamond slaps her. From the looks of it, the slap didn't look like there was much power behind it, but it was enough for Natalie to feel that slap. Shit, slapped her in the chin and she ain't do shit, right? But Natalie jumps up and she tries to get her lick back. She goes after Diamond, but with the security in the way, she couldn't do much until they move, right? So they moved out the way and let them line that shit up, huh? Line that shit up. What? Line that shit up. So they got into their little squabble, and it gave DTB got that. I'm gonna have to give it to DTB. Diamond whooped her for that little quick little second. So after that, they moved backstage. They face to face again. Diamond asked Natalie, but what we doing? Are we fighting? Natalie should have said yeah and took off on Diamond. Like, for real, get your lick back, Natalie. She slapped you on stage, knocked on your head afterwards. BITCH, get your lick back. Natalie didn't do that. Instead, she was like, no. No, we're not fighting. But she want to know why Diamond slapped her. And I'm like, well, does it matter? Natalie, it don't matter. Slap her ass back. Diamond explains why she slapped Natalie. And then she asked Natalie, are you a part of the cast? And Natalie was like, yes, she's a part of the cast. And DTB was like, well, then you can get touched. And I said, okay then, dog. Okay then, right. Natalie, you can get touched. You can't talk shit and not expect to get hit like anybody else. Nobody else can talk shit and get hit. But you, because you want to throw that EP title in their face all the time. No, you talk shit and get hit like anybody else. So Natalie calls herself firing Diamond at the moment. She was like, "You're fired." And then she's telling production not to allow her on set. She was like, "This is my set and I want her escorted off." And I'm like, Natalie, Natalie, you are probably one of 5 EPs on the show. And the only difference is yours has creator in front of it. You have no power from what it looks like. And like Nene Leakes said on the Baddies East reunion, Natalie holds a title. She doesn't have any power. Natalie, you can't fire nobody. Get that shit out. Get it out. So Natalie was talking about Diamond going back to the script club, giving very much Stevie J. She mad just talking shit. So, after all that, after getting herself together, Natalie comes back on stage and she explains to everyone what she feels is what happened between her and DTB. Then after all that talking she was doing, they called DTB back on stage and I bust out laughing. I bust out laughing because now you did all that talking about she fired, you wanted her escorted off stage, all that talking backstage just for her to come back out on the main stage. Oh, little TT. So Diamond comes out, Rolly stands up, and I'm just like, Rolly, sit your not needed, slew-footed, real thick thighs, bad BBF having, still big post-op, still big in the waist training info high, still big before and after, just still looking very much the same ass down. Shout out to Tommy. Rolly, sit your ass down. But Rolly stands up in defense of Natalie while Natalie stayed seated, right? And I'm like, Natalie, why you ain't hop up? Hop your scary ass up. But Rolly hop up, let's go and I'm swinging. And that was the end of the episode, y'all. And those are what I feel are the highlights of the episode. Y'all. That's all I really came down here to say. I do thank y'all for tuning in to the early way. And y'all, if you haven't liked, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to catch y'all next time.